Hello everyone, my name is Betsy, and this is my article presentation for cognition about my two research articles. So, for starters, my first article's title that I will be referring to as article number one throughout this presentation was the effect of energy drink consumption on executive functions in health science students. And my second article that I will be referring to as article number two throughout this presentation was titled, Is the Consumption of Energy Drinks Associated with Academic Achievement Among College Students? So, for the first article, the main research question that it was asking was, does drinking energy drinks affect executive functions like attention, working memory, inhibition, and decision making in health science students? And what it's just asking is, does consuming energy drinks change cognitive control abilities that students need for learning and academic tasks? The theory for this research article was that energy drinks can change how the brain works, especially in skills that involve attention, memory, and self-control. And the overall hypothesis for this research study was that students who drink energy drinks will perform worse on executive function tasks. So for article number two, the main question that was asking was that is there a relationship between how often college students drink energy drinks and their academic performance, such as their GPA and academic standing overall? In more simple words, is using energy drinks linked to doing better or worse in school? And the theory for this research study was that health behaviors affect school performance, and they hypothesized that students who drink more energy drinks will have lower academic achievement. So, how are these questions addressed throughout the study? For article number one, they did a study where students took thinking tests and the researchers compared them based on how many energy drinks the students usually drink. And the conditions for this experiment were students who drink none or very little, students who drink a medium amount, and students who drink a lot. The independent variables for this study were how many energy drinks the student normally drinks, and the dependent variable was how well the student did on executive function tests that involved attention, working, memory, self-control, and switching in between tasks. How this study measures cognition. I would say this study measures cognition because these tests check basic thinking skills like staying focused, remembering information, and stopping impulsive actions. And this study is asking whether energy drinks make these skills better or worse. Energy drinks are something that a lot of us consume, especially as college students. So I think it's really important for this research to be done. And for article number two, they did a survey in which students answered questions about how much they drink energy drinks and what their grades are. So the conditions for this experiment were students who drink low amounts, medium amounts, and high amounts of energy drinks. The independent variables were how often the student drinks energy drinks. The dependent variables were their academic performance, mainly focusing on their actual grade point average. How this study measures cognition. I would say this study measures cognition because grades reflect skills like attention, memory, and staying organized. This study checks whether drinking more energy drinks is linked to doing worse in school, which is also really important as college students for us to know whether it's really helpful or it's really harmful. So, what was found for article number one, they found that students who drank more energy drinks did worse on the thinking test that they were given, and they had lower attention, weaker memory, and more mistakes overall. This is the table that was provided for that first research article, and it just shows the scores for each group. So lower drinkers scored the highest, medium drinkers scored in the middle, and high drinkers scored the lowest overall. In comparison, high drinkers did worse than medium drinkers, and medium drinkers did worse than low drinkers. For the second article, the study found that students who drink energy drinks more often have lower GPAs. They also reported more trouble paying attention in class. And the main figure that I was unable to see, but I was able to get a description just because I had to pay to see the full article, but I was able to see them basically the full article as well, just without the images, with just logging into my school email. So that's why I'm unable to provide a picture. But for the summary that they gave of the image, it says that it showed scores for each group. So low drinkers having the highest GPA, medium drinkers had a lower GPA, and high drinkers had the lowest overall GPA. And in comparison, high drinkers did do worse than medium drinkers, and medium drinkers did worse than the low drinkers. So, what do the authors think that their findings mean? For article number one, the authors think that their results do support their hypothesis in the sense that students who drink more energy drinks tend to do worse on thinking tests, so they believe that energy drinks can definitely hurt attention, memory, and self-control. They think that the ingredients in these energy drinks can make the brain too stimulated in certain situations, which makes it harder for them to think. And in conclusion, all of their results seemed fair as they clearly stated that more energy drinks do equal worse thinking. As for article number two, the authors think that their results also support their hypothesis because they did find students who drink energy drinks more often had lower GPAs overall. So the authors believe that energy drinks are linked to worse focus, poor sleep, and bad study habits. Um, in conclusion, all of their data seemed fair and it clearly showed a pattern that high energy drink use is linked to lower grades. And overall, the conclusions for all of this data matches their results. These are my two references for the two articles, the top one being article number one that I was referencing, and the bottom being article number two. And yeah, thank you for listening.